Today I have just received my FSP by Whirlpool capacitor start direct drive washer motor, model 336-3737, and I've always wanted one of these motors because they are really easy to service, they're widely available and pretty cheap. So let's go ahead and get this unboxed. Okay, cut to about, let's say it's 3 hours later now. And now I'm going to be doing the real unboxing because the idiot who packed this, he used the original box. However, he didn't put the packing material in it correctly. So the red box that controls the capacitor start and all the other functions was totally smashed into pieces, but thanks to my friend here, I have pieced it back together, and now I will show you what it's really supposed to look like. See these two things here? These were not like this. They were just stuck down in between each side. And also, there's a little recess right there in the cardboard, which is not on this side, for this unit, which was smashed into pieces. But it seems to be pretty good now. You can see my super gluing job. But now we can unbox this thing for real. So, what was on this side was a capacitor. Not sure if this is the right one. Doesn't appear to be the right one because it doesn't have two prongs normally, but we'll figure that out later. And I was also given some sort of cord thing that you could use to turn it on. Yeah. I don't think I'll be using that. And here we have the motor. And I will pull it out right now. So now that we have this motor out of its box, we can all see it. And yeah, the extent of the non-repairable shipping damages are, even though there is no contact... Oh, where is it? Why will this thing not focus? Excuse my retarded phone, I need to buy a smarter one. But that missing contact there, well, there was no contact there. The gap is just smaller now since I superglued it together. A little bit of the fin on the white wire is broken. You can barely tell, but the most noticeable is that this side here, it's no longer there on that side. The red piece where I superglued it together, it's a little bit bent. And there is a small piece that is missing from that side. Right there. However, it is working. Centrifugal switch. Well, should be. I don't know. But here we'll have a little tour. Now, most people... I typically rate these motors on a scale. There's 3 variations of these motors that I've seen. There's this variation, which, if I am not incorrect, came first, and the second variation had a completely flat front. This same back panel, and that's in my opinion, I think that's the second most common. And then the most common has these arch or like support things, but instead of it going down like that, like 2 arrows facing down, they go up like this, and most of it is also in as well, and it has a different back, and you can no longer screw the capacitor on here. But anyways, with that done, we have centrifugal switch that should be working. This is a interesting motor because it has the red terminal, no orange, or there's no violet. There's just black, white, blue, yellow, and white. There we have our overload connected to the white wire. There's the model number. Made in the USA. Good. 9.7 amps, 1.5 horsepower. Also, I've seen that typically most of the ones, this is a not typical one, most of the ones that you typically see, they have a little arch coming up, and this comes out a little bit more. I don't know if that gives it a horsepower increase or what. Not sure. Probably doesn't, because they all seem to be a half horsepower. And I actually have this motor on its side. Most people would think this is straight up. No, it's actually supposed to be like this, because that's how it's mounted in the washing machine. And you see FSP logo is straight up. Anyways, yeah, we have our terminals on there. We have white, black, blue, red, and then white. You guys cannot read. There's B. Now you can read. Thank you, phone. Also, as you notice, this bottom metal piece here is not actually completely flush with the other thing. So if you set it down, it sets up at an angle. Also, these curve in for some reason. Don't know why. On both sides. Oh yeah, there's a little bit of rust on the inner side of the rotor. You probably cannot tell because of bad quality. And lighting. Maybe I can get some light in there. Maybe we can. No, we cannot. Well, you just have to take my word for it. It's rusty. Motor was made on, I think that's a 9/13/2000 at 12:18. It looks like the stator is 2 pieces, or the iron thing in here. Not sure, but this is gold. Pretty sure this entire thing's a stator. It's in 2 pieces, not perfectly put together. Unfortunately, these motors are not really serviceable at all, except everything you can get to, because they just put some sort of epoxy resin thing and they just stuck the 2 halves together. So, yeah. Permanently lubricated. They just have some sort of sponge foam thing in here that's full of oil, and that's your lubrication. The bearings in this seem okay. They should work. And also an extension cord that looks like it was not made for this, or some sort of connector thing that I have. If I can bring it up here. Okay. Here it is. It's not looking very good. Just red electrical tape everywhere. That piece is actually coming off. I think it's supposed to be, yeah, covering that up more. That should be covering that up. And then there's another piece over here. I don't know why it's looped like this. But we have 2 connectors, and this thing is constantly falling down. Let me get it up here some more. The blue, yeah, these both fit. I've heard online that what you do is you connect, starter winding is the R terminal and the yellow. However, I know that the run terminal for high speed is blue and white. And that makes sense, because blue on another motor I have is high speed, and white goes, if you can follow the wire to this overload, down here, under, back under there, and then goes under there. So I'm pretty sure that this is the overload. And I saw a video on YouTube of a guy. He had one, except it was a second rendition with the full cover. He said that in order to get low speed, there was a purple thing on his motor. He said to move the wires from white to white with a stripe. Oops, I dropped that. get up here. Okay. He said move it to white with a stripe, which is that one right there. CNC white with a stripe. And purple. However, I don't have one of those. And I'm pretty sure that that was a 3-speed washer, because basically all of the Whirlpool and Kenmore direct drive washing machines were 2-speed. They had high and low speed, even the most basic ones that only let you select the water level. I'm pretty sure that they were all 2 speeds, which means that this would have to be a 2-speed motor. However, I think that what he accessed in that video was the extra low setting. So, my question is, and I've seen some speculation about this, one person said to connect it to blue and white with a black stripe. So he said go like this. And I've done some ohms measurements with a multimeter. The resistance, keep in mind this was a very cheap one and it's probably very inaccurate. The resistance of the starting winding was like 7 or 8 or 6, somewhere in that range. The resistance of the main winding was about 1, and I think he said that the resistance of the low speed winding should be higher. However, blue and white with a black stripe come out with to 1 as well, which is the same as a main high speed, and white with and plain white and then white with a white stripe like this comes out to 0 ohms. So I'm kind of in a predicament. It makes sense to do this like that, and I'm pretty sure it's a 2-speed motor, but it would make as much sense to do this because you're still going through the overload protector, which wouldn't really make much sense why low speed would be overload protected and high speed, or high speed would be overload protected and low speed wouldn't, because they both have as much of a possibility to burn out. You're just using less of the winding, or you're not using as much, you don't have as strong of a magnetic field. But that's my main question about this. But I am going to hook this thing up and run it on high speed without without the starter winding enabled, because I'm not sure if this is the right capacitor and I'm not going to risk anything. So yeah, I think I'll show that to you guys now.